Hello, I am Carl from Vermont Natural Beef. We are here at Kingston Place Farm, and we are going to go over what comes in a side of beef, how you can get it, how it's delivered, and what our process is. And hopefully we can answer some questions for you or your friends if you're interested in buying bulk beef. This is a side of beef. This side of beef weighed 267 pounds, which is slightly below our average, which is typically around 280 pounds. This has been cut into what you see before you based on a specific cut sheet. Cut sheet will be gone over by either myself or Bob, where we will go through the entire process with you, and you'll be able to select your bone in versus your bone out, the size of your roasts, size and thickness of your steaks. In addition to all the steaks, roasts, and all the bones and everything you see before you, the short ribs, you'll also get a large portion of ground beef. Now, the amount of ground beef will change depending on what each customer requests on their cut sheet, but for this example right here, 267 pounds, hanging weight, was cut up into all of these different steaks, from your beef steaks, your brisket, your tri-tips over here, your porterhouses, T-bones, your fillets, your flanks. In addition to all of these larger portions, you also got almost 100 pounds of ground beef in 1 pound packages. So a quarter is essentially half of what you see on the table in front of us. The large difference is each quarter is cut the same way, so that way each customer is getting essentially the same amount of product. You do lose some of the customization. The bone-in versus boneless will be mostly determined by the size of the side that was split into quarters. Well, first is in the name. Natural means we don't add anything to our beef. There's no coloring that's added. There's no hormones injected into any of these animals. They go out, they go on our grass, they sit out there and enjoy that grass all year round. And what you get is a superior product. A customer favorite is the ground beef. We have people who panic when they run out of ground beef and call us and ask us for a couple of boxes to either get mailed to them or have us deliver to them. What you'll notice that there's a deeper, beefier flavor. That beefier flavor is because they're getting so much grass instead of grain in their diet. And on top of that, you're getting a better price than you would find in a store for a better quality, and it's coming directly to your door. You fill your freezer. It's a one-time expense, and you're locked in for the entire year, and you know exactly what you're getting. You know your farmer. You know where it's coming from. It's coming from our farm, going to the processor, from the processor into our freezer trailer, and we're delivering it to you. So this particular side weighed 267 pounds hanging weight. The hanging weight is the weight of that side at the processor. The average weight that we have for our animals is typically 280 pounds. This year, averages were lower, but this is on the low end of average, 267 pounds, and delivered all this beef right here that you see on the table, including the two nearly 100 pounds of ground beef. Well, you get a little bit of everything when you order side. For our steak lovers, you're going to get a bunch of rib steaks. Depending on how you break down your side of beef and your cut sheet, you're going to get your rib steaks, you're going to get porterhouses, you're going to get T-bones, you'll get Delmonico's if you want to go boneless on the rib steaks. If you really love doing roasts, or you're particular about staying nice and warm, throwing something in the crock pot or the Dutch oven, we've got plenty of roasts, whether it's your top round, your chuck roast, your eye of round. If you've got a great smoker or you're learning how to smoke, we've got brisket. Typically that's going to be two separate, but we do have the ability to do one large. We have the beef bones or the soup bones. Those are going to be used to either make stock or beef broth. That has been really popular and a highly asked for item every year since 2020. Now we typically give away almost all of the beef bones where we used to have a little surplus. your rib steaks, or if you take the rib out, you'll get the Delmonico's. You'll have your tenderloin. You can do whole tenderloin, or you can get the fillets and get your filet mignon. You'll have London broils. You'll have your stew meats, flank steaks, short ribs, which are great in the crock pot. Throw those in, forget about it. A little bit of barbecue sauce, you'll love them. Steak tips. And then, of course, each side comes with ground beef. This particular side, 267 pounds, yielded almost 100 pounds of ground beef. The big advantage there, if you've got a family like ours where you're cooking ground beef at least one night a week, you would need 50 pounds to cover you for the year. If you're doing it 2 or 3 times a week, you would need 100 pounds or more. Well, we start taking deposits on April 1st, sometimes a couple days earlier. You leave your deposit for either a side or a quarter, and that secures your side or quarter of beef for fall deliveries. Fall deliveries start in early September and run through the new year, typically into January or February, depending on how much volume we have for that year. We deliver on Saturdays and go to pre-positioned points throughout the Northeast. And we will go to, say, one shopping center that is off a highway that's easy access for everyone to meet us. And we'll meet either a couple customers there, or we'll meet an entire group from an area. And in some places, we make multiple deliveries to the same location. Everybody meets there. We help you load everything into your car. And then you run home and fill up your freezer, minus whichever steak you want to cook that night. So if you got an average side of beef, you would need about 7 up to 9 cubic feet of freezer space for an entire side. If you got a quarter, you would need about half that, which would be 3.5 to 4. Maybe a little bit more if you got a particularly large quarter, but that would be all. If you got just a 50-pound box, you need enough freezer space for this box right here. Thank you for your interest in Vermont Natural Beef. I hope we answered some questions today and clarified how our process works and what exactly you're going to get. To our existing customers, thank you very much. We wouldn't be able to do what we do, where we do it out here in this beautiful Vermont landscape without our dedicated customers who come back year after year. To new customers or visitors, we hope you buy from us in the future, and we look forward to delivering to you your first side, and we hope that, like our existing customers, you'll be a customer for a long, long time. Please stay up to date on our social media, specifically YouTube and Facebook, where we're going to be creating a little bit of content this year so we can show you exactly how we raise this wonderful, wonderful beef here on our family farm.